The investigators may have survived their conflict with a sorcerer, but will they survive the challenges that lay ahead in the investigation that is to come? Welcome back, folks, to Call of Cthulhu, with the investigators, who will introduce themselves, as always, in no particular order.
Welcome! My name is Kleike and I play Martin Schmidt, who is the dappest of German.
I feel like you may have been channeling someone there with that.
Maybe.
I'm playing Violet Carter, who is currently missing a good chunk of her face, but it's alright.
It's alright, you'll get better. I'm playing Daniel Grant.
Oh, I'm not sure it will get better.
Man has no details on Daniel Grant, just the name.
Well, alright, I'm a doctor.
He is a doctor that, should he actually focus on doctoring, would be a world-renowned doctor.
Yeah, I'd be amazing at it.
And
Bag
finally,
full of morphine and a heart full of love.
And-
I am Rupert. I play Victor Stravinsky, dad of a son.
What?
Husband of probably a wife somewhere. Child of the Russian tundra.
are you making all this up?
Master of Barsoom. No, he has a kid.
What?
I don't think you ever went to Barsoom.
Stravinsky has
don't
like
sweat
the best
don't sweat the small
backstory.
stuff. It's a planet. I get to name it.
Does anyone want a summary of what happened last time?
Probably a
No.
good idea.
Go for it.
Most of the investigators were out of action in one form or another, and the only people that were going with Manningly and a few officers at the final point were Schmidt and the Dr. Grant. And you basically went around looking at lots of really scary murals and losing lots of sanity doing so, and collecting a few interesting books that you ended up reading. Some of you spent some time recovering in hospital and being treated by Daniel for your injuries. Other people spent time either improving their rifle skills or reading tomes. Everett, after the events of it all, rather, you get the feeling, is looking for a reason to go after he's recovered, and the opportunity may have arrived at the arrival of a police officer who informed you that Violet Driver has been killed, or at least found dead.
Probably the single greatest blow to our group's effectiveness.
Indeed, you have no
Impressive.
driver, and you were given a strange like gemstone-y item that was really, really weird to look at, and it just said on a piece of paper it had to been return what was taken from us. Which Violet feels may have been something that they took from the Hermetic Order's lodge.
I mean, it'd probably be the box, I imagine.
You think
What stuff do we actually have as far as artifacts go? Because I feel like
you took a fair few books. You took three. Among other things, you took a few books from them. You took a copy of Entering the Silver Gate, Catechism of the Knights of the Outer Void, Holy Mysteries of the Great Return, and I think you also found... did you find a copy of the book Cult de Ghouls, by any chance?
yes, but I've suddenly remembered that there was a copy of the Necronomicon.
You
which
also
might be
found
what
a
they're
copy
considering.
of the Necronomicon in Greek as well, which you would know is the only copy of the Necronomicon in Greek that is known to exist.
They mad because I'm better at books than them.
So that's what you know about that. Do you wish to do any investigation into the driver, or do you want to just investigate things in general? You had wanted to purchase the or find what was happening with the sale of the lodge.
Yeah, with the physical logic.
But that is something that you'll be informed about as time goes by. Is there anything in particular anyone wants to do?
Have we? What do they say about the investigation of the murder?
There's no particular leads that they could see. Like, there isn't anything incriminating that points towards anyone, though Manningly has his suspicions that the Order may have been involved in this. There's nothing that implicitly says they are, but he has a hunch that the order may be involved.
And crime scene has since been moved and so on, right? So there's no
Yeah.
way we could go and do it.
Not really, no.
Obviously fell asleep smoking in the car.
You have the main thing that you have discovered from the various books that you have read is that this organization, the Hermetic Order of the Silver Twilight, is not what it seems to be, of course, and it's more a front for something called the Lords of the Silver Twilight, which you read about.
Was there a European connection? I can't remember.
There
I
was
feel
a
like there
European
was.
Where'd we
connection.
read
There
that
was
again?
there was a
forget.
letter. You've read it in the various books, the tomes that you've discovered, and the stuff that you uncovered within the lodge.
Oh, I see.
There was a letter that you found that spoke of people working in Scotland.
All right, so lads, what are we thunking?
Should we not find out what happened to the driver?
Well, in as much as we can. I mean, I suppose we could.
Oh yeah, I mean, we should at least like pay our respect to death.
I mean, the car is still there. They haven't moved the car yet. The body has been removed, but the car has not been.
Maybe there'll be clues.
You
Maybe someone drop a cigarette packet that says exactly where they got it from.
You can certainly have a look, but you will need to get a taxi because you don't have a driver anymore.
Oh, come on,
So-
who
so
only has
it's-
one driver these days?
So to paraphrase here, man burned in cart, right? Wasn't that what happened? Or am I
Yes.
remembering
I
something? Did
believe
Phil
that was what
gaslight
happened.
me?
Yes,
Okay. Where was he parked when this happened?
he wasn't. He wasn't with you guys. He was out and about.
Yeah, but where?
I think where he was. Near the outskirts of the city.
Okay, so he had stopped near the outskirts of the city and burned to death in the car.
Kind
was
of,
not-
yes. They're
he
not
was not
sure if he
somewhere
stopped
specific.
or if it was a crash. There wasn't much left of the car to conclude.
Well,
'Cause, you
let's go
know-
have a look.
You can go have a look. Are you going by public transportation, taxi, walking, all the options?
I can take one person in my sidecar.
Just the Stravinsky motorbike.
Yeah.
Does it matter, like particularly, or
I'm just curious about how you're going.
I'm mopeding.
does it take long to get there, or
Not a huge amount of time, but I just want to know how you're getting there.
just walk then?
You're going to walk, right?
Moped.
You're mopeding.
I can bring one person.
I sit on the back of the moped.
You're
No,
going
you
with
go. You go in the
I-
side cart. You don't
Oh,
touch
I'm
me.
sorry. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
no,
I was
don't-
about
Is
to
everyone
hold
else
me very
walking?
tight.
Yeah, I'll head with the.
Okay.
with the
So,
lad.
naturally, the people in the moped get there first.
Nice.
There's really not much left of the car. This thing has been thoroughly torched. You can plainly see that this was not a case of, like, the engine just going. This thing has been doused in gas.
Okay, so where is it on the road? In the ditch, as if it swerved off and then burned, or just like it parked and burned?
It's off the road, but you don't think it's there's no skid marks on the road, like as if it suddenly swerved.
Is there any sort of structural damage to the front of the car, as if it drove full speed into the side of the
No.
road? So it stopped and was burned.
That's what you could conclude.
Well, I mean, either it's tried to brake, there'd be skid marks, or it would just go full speed. in the
There's
fucking
no
car.
skid marks at all.
Can
Yeah,
can
so,
I
so
do
it-
a?
it either went full speed, but since there's no damage to the car,
You
it didn't hit anything when it went there, so it stopped.
you can't see any damage, but then again, this car's been thoroughly torched.
Can
Well,
can
I
I
mean,
do a
that-
spot hidden? Maybe
Do a spot hidden.
leave
So
somewhere.
I join him in this as we mull it over.
Okay. Ooh. Well, Stravinsky, you rolled a 1.
Man's
yeah.
eyes pop out of his skull and fly
so
around.
Stravinsky
the car.
may very well gain an increase in his spot hidden.
Do I?
Which he
well, that's
does.
an instant one, isn't it?
Instant because you rolled a 1. You gain an additional 6% in spot hidden, and your spot hidden is now at 33.
I imagine
Oh,
this is
boy,
if there's nothing to spot, it's equivalent to you just suddenly go on LSD and
You-
stare at your hands.
You
Yes.
spot in the footwell of the driver's side something that is
Sorry, what is the footwell? Is that where the footrest is?
Yeah, where you have your
Yeah.
feet.
Oh, okay, all right.
Something you spot a small stone.
Small stone.
He went away at Timo.
You spot
Like-
a small stone. It
What
looks
kind of stone?
very well. You can't see it right now. Only he can see it, and he's not told you yet.
Oh,
Well, we have a look. I point.
Okay. It looks very similar from this distance to the one that you unwrapped just a little while ago.
The stone isn't full of soot. We can tell.
It's
blackened?
entirely. It's not been burnt.
wait, the one that we unwrapped?
Yes, you unwrapped one, and in that note that I just described to you,
Oh, okay, all right.
and looking at it, like you briefly saw what like.
So it's sitting there in a charred husk, with
But
no
it's-
signs of
yeah.
being burned at all.
Yeah.
Go touch it,
Stravinsky
Russian
says,
man.
yeah, agrees. We should not touch it. I would like mechanical repair to see if I can determine anything about the car.
The car, apart from it being horrendously burned, you don't
Well, I
see
mean,
any.
most of the like padding and shit like that the tires would
You,
melt.
you
but
said the body is removed, right?
yeah,
There is no corpse in there.
Yeah, there's no corpse. Yeah, okay.
Like, you cannot
scout.
see any sabotage.
Okay, and there's no sign of it, like any of the metal bits that wouldn't be affected by the fire bending or anything. So he hasn't hit anything.
No.
Okay, well he stopped here and died.
Kiko, can I try an occult roll on the stone?
It would really be a mythos roll.
Oh, would it be? Well, go ahead, 5%. Let's go.
Is that?
Yeah, let's go.
Nope. None of you
Oh.
can. None of
lads.
you are.
Who's
Have I not, have I not arrived yet?
You haven't arrived yet. It's a bit of a
Okay.
distance.
Well, we can just wait until they arrive. I mean,
You
unless Satan
guys-
appears.
As you're doing your investigations, you guys, as you are going down one road, Daniel, you spot something plastered onto a wall. There are many posters on the wall. Some of them are for, like, products you can buy. Others are for, like, shows. One thing catches your eye purely because of a name that's on it. And I will put it in the
Hefty Helga.
thing here for you to look at, and I will also read it as well. It is this. It says as follows. Motivate your employees. Inspire yourself. Look to the future with Carl Stanford. This week, present. B. Ramsdale Brown. Profits in your own backyard. We are the businessman's friend. Meeting and coffee every morning, 50 cents. The Krullers are on us. 320 Back Bay Lane, 7:30 a.m. sharp.
Had a chance to make it 420.
The
That's
name
awesome.
Carl Stanford is one that you know. Because that is the guy that you met on more than one occasion. Well, in Stravinsky's case, but in your case, once in the Hermetic Order of the Silver Twilight. He was the guy that greeted you.
Okay, can I rip the poster and take it with
You
me?
certainly can rip the poster off and take it with you.
I'll do that.
You did.
Man just defaces it.
As you guys arrive roughly as Stravinsky is doing his examinations of the with his mechanical repair. You guys see pretty much off the side of the road, in a small ditch, the car burnt, basically torched. It's not in a good. It's not roadworthy. It will never be roadworthy again.
We point out the stone.
Okay, can I do my roll on it?
Yes. Roll Cthulhu Mythos on it.
Oh,
Anyone
yeah,
that's
we
looking
got a 9.
You got a 9.
Got a 9.
It is exactly the same kind of stone as the one that you saw in that piece of paper that you just got. It is basically designed. It's commonly referred to as a beguiling stone. They are
Wait,
designed.
what piece of paper I got? You mean the poster?
No, the one which said return what was stolen from us.
Oh, right, sorry.
The
Wait, the stone said that, or the note?
the note that the stone was wrapped in said
Oh, I
that.
see.
Who throws occult stones? I think they're quite valuable.
I didn't
And
throw
this
it.
thing's,
It
this
was
thing's identical?
yes. They are actually
Kiko,
identical.
Same rune?
I was
There
just going to say,
wasn't
I rolled a 21 on Mythos as well.
There wasn't
so
a
if that
rune in
helps.
it.
Oh, okay.
Can we mythos together?
Yeah, I got a 21, so I also passed mythos.
Well, you
so fine.
both know, but it's a beguiling stone. What they are designed to do,
High five me, Violet.
well, they're
can't read.
designed to entrance people because they look into it, see impossibilities beyond the realms of imagination, and they are beguiled. And usually that is a good opportunity for people to rob them, kill them, or suggest that certain courses of action. For people are very suggestible when they are caught by
She's
a
saying it's
beguiling
like
stone.
spooky chloroform.
Wait. So does that mean that when we got it in the note and we looked at it, we were beguiled?
No, the person who did look at it managed not to avert their eyes in time, so they did not. You have to look directly into it.
Yeah, Violet's resistant to cosmic roofies.
I see.
Please relay this to us. Mister knows what the stone is.
What might I do? What's it worth?
I mean, me not burning you, I guess.
You know as well that they are tied to a certain person that creates them, and they have the ability to activate and deactivate the beguiling with a thought.
Is there a way for us to track those stones back to the source?
We'll check the GPS on the car.
Yes, exactly. No, but I mean, like, is there maybe some kind of ritual thing or something?
You don't
This
know.
is maybe like towards Violet, I guess.
You don't know of anything.
Well, I mean,
Well, I don't know. I don't know
That's
anything.
in
Ask me, like,
general.
everyone.
Not the people, even the people that passed, do not know of anything that could be used to trace it back.
I see.
Sarisky suggests that since this is the way that it be, on account of the way it is, what likely happened is
God, on my
Algernon,
brain.
Algernon got one of these, and it made him drive out here and light himself on fire. If it had been someone that had done something while they were there, they would have removed the stone afterwards. But it's still there, so he likely did it to himself and picked it up somewhere.
It's a
And
pretty.
who moved the body?
The police.
Oh.
It's a crime scene.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
assuming.
It's
Do we know that they moved the body?
Yes, they
Kika-
informed you.
Kika said.
Oh,
It's a pretty solid theory you've got there.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
I mean, it'd be the easiest way to do it, and it'd be the least
And
So-
effort.
How much does Violet know about Algernon? What does he do with your car when he's not? Where does he go? So he sees like an Alfred that goes and gets a bagel at a certain place. Where would
Oh,
one intercept him?
But as far as I remember, in this particular period, a lot of old stables have been converted into effectively places to stick cars. I imagine I would be renting somewhere for him to take it.
for a point of reference, by the way, Daniel, it is currently Sunday.
Oh, so for Monday morning, we can do it tomorrow. Nice.
You should have been in
I
church.
need you...
mate.
Guys, you should look at this poster I found.
Oh, nice.
He shows you the poster for the Look to the Future with Carl Stanford, a name you all know.
We met him at the order, the lodge.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing is, it's 7:30 in the morning. That's really early.
It's 50 cents as well. Jesus.
Oh, I mean, I've got that. I'm alright, but it's just 7:30 in the morning.
Well, if he's trying to catch working men, you know.
Oh, it's every Monday morning as well. But I think we should pop along and see what's going on. I mean,
Yeah.
while we investigate what's going on with the stone, and if whether we can track it or not, I don't know. But this
We
is a good
should-
lead as any.
We should wrap that fuck up.
yeah, don't touch this with your bare hands, all right? Don't
Didn't
look
you
at it.
Didn't you say it's the person who made the stone can do stuff with it?
They can
Nothing
they
else.
can activate or deactivate the beguiling ability of it with a thought.
Then we should
Okay.
not be anywhere near it, presumably.
Yeah.
It's
well,
you
the
have to,
one we
like-
got was wrapped up.
you have to
so-
look
It's
at
about
it.
looking at it.
So
right?
provided it is covered, it won't affect you.
Okay,
Okay,
like
that's
Schmidt
frustrating.
takes a little, like handkerchief
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever, and like because they told me without looking at it, I reach in, I grab it, I put it in the handkerchief, and I
Yep.
kind of put a little knot in it, so it's like
Okay.
properly.
You have technically two.
And then I put it
beguiling
in my
stones.
pocket because
Then
that's
you put
where
it in your pocket. So you have. You're at this crime scene with this car. The car will be eventually removed. Like they're
Yeah.
going to get round to it tomorrow.
It was called a beguiling stone.
A
correct?
beguiling stone. You have
Okay,
two
because
of them.
I wrote it into my inventory.
Violet, would Algernon be cleaning the car? Is that also part of his responsibility?
Oh yeah, I mean, if he's effectively it's like think of it the same way you'd have someone who looks after horses, right?
He lives in the car. is
If,
what he's
if
saying.
someone had left something in the car, he would find it doing his routine before he
Yeah,
leaves.
I mean, it's his job is to bring the car when it's needed and be
Yeah.
available when it's needed, etc. So
Well, in that case, we go where he had it. I'm assuming you know where you rented the stable?
yeah, I would have to because I'd be
Can
paying
we
for it.
Do that before Monday? What say, men?
What? Check out the stable. I mean, we got time. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, see who if there's any suspicious stuff going on.
Okay,
it.
you go to the stable. You are seen to by the person that you're renting it from.
Is it sort of how much of a stable is it?
Pretty much a converted stable. It's not been heavily
Oh,
converted.
so it's a stable that's no longer stable. So
Yeah, it's no longer a stable. It's basically they took all the stably horse things out and just changed it just enough so that a car could go in.
I'm sorry. Okay, I hope someone died from that pun. Anyway, shall we?
What?
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 Well, it's a stable that's no longer a stable, so it's an unstable.
That's
You see, it's funny because it's a pun.
He
It
says
will
you're
play on
welcome. Like, considering you rent the space, you're welcome to have a look at it however you wish. I mean, he's curious.
Oh, unstable. Fuck.
He's curious as to what the man's curious as to why. I mean, something happened.
Shall we try and convince him that someone sabotaged the car and that was what binned him? That way he is likely to reveal anyone suspicious that's been around to deflect suspicion from himself. Can anyone talk? Shall we try this?
I don't know.
I mean, I think there's a sort of general question of if there's that much point in pursuing it at this end.
Well, I mean, we can see if.
I mean, there's no use crying over spilt drivers.
Spilt Algernon. But I mean, if he knows something, he knows something. If he doesn't, I mean, we're here. Might as well.
Yeah, we can ask him, and I think we can investigate the link thing. And then I think we should consider the Scots, who are usually responsible for all the ills in this world.
What are you going to say then in answer to his question if something happened or?
Well, I'm not.
Oh no, I mean I think it makes sense if I said it. So I'm getting something like my driver who.
You basically his owner, right?
Yeah, exactly. My personal.
I don't think you're his owner. I think you are his employer.
Someone has vandalized my property.
You
and also my car.
You're referring to the car as the property.
Indeed, I was.
Yeah, sure.
I was.
Yes.
We can work with it. But I think the general idea is that I should ask him if he knew anything because I need to collect details for insurance purposes and also in order to see if this is a place I should continue to give business to when I get a new driver and car.
He's rather alarmed and well, he was in last night doing his usual things as far as I know, giving it a clean, checking the tires and that sort of stuff. I usually just leave him to it. He's got his tools down there and his bucket and filled up with water and I didn't hear anything unusual.
There was no unusual visitors?
Don't really get any visitors sides from Algernon, no. Nobody. I was asleep early night.
Okay. So let's just. I mean, we can't get much more than that. So let's assume that whatever happened, it was presumably at this meeting that he attended. So I vote we go for that next.
Oh wait, Algernon attended a meeting.
He didn't attend the meeting. That was a poster they found on the wall as they were walking.
Yeah, I found it while I was.
Oh, I wasn't. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I thought that was meant to be something that he'd seen. Okay.
Can we just, for a second just ask the man if anyone else has access to it, or if Algernon has a key and it's locked up aside from when he's not using it?
Somebody asked that, I take it?
Yeah, it's Skadook.
My wife has a key. Sometimes
Dun, dun,
she stores a
dun.
broom in here. I mean,
Oh. Fuck it. Let's go to the meeting.
Let's go get that free coffee.
you have to pay 50
Wait,
cents.
is there nothing we want to check out while we're here then?
You can have a look at the place.
Violet
said-
seems reluctant.
Said
so
you're
fine.
no, he said you're free
No,
to look.
I mean, you guys can have a look. I don't have any spot hidden.
you do rent. You do rent the space. You are free to look as you wish.
Yeah, I'll look around with my spot hidden
Right, well,
89.
Yeah, again, can we spot hidden? We may be able to get some footsteps or the footprints or stuff.
Yeah. You
I roll.
spot.
Ooh,
Go on.
92. So that'd be a no.
No, none of you spot anything that seems to be out of the ordinary. All the tools in the toolbox are well organized and clean. The mop
That's no way to talk about the men.
The mop bucket is, as it is, full of water. It's
My mechanical repair does not grant me any insight into.
nope. It looks like everything is as it should be. There aren't any footprints. There aren't any suspicious like a smashed window or anything like that. It just looks like a stable that's been former stable that's been used to store a car.
Yeah, the reason I just don't think we're gonna get much out of this is given the way that he was killed. Literally, all someone had to do was palm a stone off to him, and given that we have no forensic capabilities whatsoever, I suspect it will be quite tricky for us to get much more information on that.
Yeah, I feel this is not something where we will dig up anything.
And because the other thing is, we also know who the culprits are, so it's not like we're
That's
going.
actually
to find...
true. Yeah, we're not
Yeah,
exactly.
we're not going to find any more information than we already have. So I suspect I suggest we just go for the connection that we know we have with this particular meeting, and then if that doesn't pan out, we investigate the Scottish.
Okay.
Because they've all legged it here.
So the night occurs as it occurs, and I will inform you now that none of you are woken up by any horrible nightmares or gribblies that are saying hello.
Oh,
Disappointing.
Are you planning to get there early, on time, late?
Early.
Noting it does say 7:30 sharp.
Definitely early, because then you can see who's.
we should get there at 7:29.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, no, earlier than that, because you want to see who's going in and out.
Yeah, I
That's
want to
true, to get
actually
there-
be there. I want to be there like an hour early and stake the place out.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're all going to turn up roughly an hour early at 6:30.
Stravinsky
Yeah.
will arrive slightly later.
Okay. Well,
beside the group, just in case, just so he won't be associated with them. If there is a
Even-
chance that they still think he's not with them.
even with you guys arriving at 320 Back Bay Lane at 6:30, there are a lot of people in the place.
Oh.
There are a lot of people already here, and more people turning up. The meeting hall has a single entrance, and it has the entranceway and the back area. Basically, the building widens out from what you can see from the outside as you go in. So, the the building is more narrow than the back.
Has anyone here read about good old Vlad? I'm assuming Violet.
What,
knows
Vlad the
about him.
Impaler?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Wasn't it a
but
pretty common story?
what's
Yeah,
the what's the context of our dear boy?
Is there a tingle inviting the poor to eat, closing the door and burning?
No,
everything
these
down?
are the people that are going in appear to be rather well-to-do business people. They're all wearing suits and ties and hats, and they're all well-to-do, of varying ages.
I'd like to specifically keep an eye out if I can like spot any kinds of, say, like pins which they have on their chests, or any kind of cufflinks or whatever on people that might associate them with some kind of organization that I know,
No,
or some kind of group.
no, there's nothing in particular that you can see that unifies any of them, except that they're all wearing suits and have ties, and
Okay.
these are people that you would not blink twice at being at a bank or in a solicitor's office or any sort of establishment like that.
Regular businessmen.
Regular businessmen. You are currently outside, you haven't yet gone in.
Yeah.
Something that strikes me as quite funny is the obvious thing to do with a beguiling stone would be stick it in a brooch. Anytime someone looks at it.
Yeah, and you're like,
Like-
hey.
Yeah, you're mine now, buddy.
The general conversation of I will say for the people that are keeping an eye out on them is that people are extremely interested in what they've got for sale this time, and that what they had, what I got last time saved me so much money and is revolutionary and stupendous and a marvel of science.
It's
Might
a
be worth
Hoover,
finding out what
isn't
they're
it?
referring to.
Vacuum
Anyone
cleaner.
with actual social skills who can find out what they're talking about?
Why social skills?
Our
depends, do we-
social skill man is kind of
You
gone.
can go in and find out what's going
Yeah,
on.
but do we want to? Because he knows who we are.
Well,
Yeah,
you
and
haven't,
I feel like well,
ha-
it
you haven't
depends
seen
which
the
of us.
person yet.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Right.
could beat a hasty retreat if you see him, of course.
Stravinsky is sort of in the periphery outside, trying to see if he can find anyone he notices while they're doing that. Also to keep an eye on.
There's nobody that you recognise.
He's making an effort to not be with the rest of the group. I don't want
Okay.
to take up too much time with that. It's just like in case they don't associate him with the group yet, him arriving with them would be pretty much in case they still think he's.
I feel like the only one of us
Potential man.
who is even remotely not known would be Kleiker, because he was mostly sneaking.
What up?
Yeah, but I mean,
Um,
Stravinsky
I'm-
came to the lodge quite a long time. Then shit happened, and he hasn't really been seen with you. Hopefully,
Yeah, no, so that makes sense too, I suppose.
yeah. So he's hoping that they still think he might be potentially with them. So that's why he's sort of the way he is. Anyway, continue.
All right, Operation Russian Human Shield commence.
So are you guys gonna stay outside, or are you going to go in?
I don't think there's much point in me going in, given that I'm probably the most identifiable person, particularly now with a wonderful set of facial burns.
What
Well,
are
you
we
have a veil,
wearing?
of course.
What are you wearing? That is a good question.
Yeah, Luke.
Well, I'd be wearing.
Damn, we
pretty-
didn't get dressed.
I mean,
I think you wouldn't have made it there if you weren't dressed.
clothing. My God, these
I mean, you can be brief. You can just say smart, casual, or anything like
mean,
that.
I'd imagine she's wearing a pretty standard sort of green woolen suit of the kind an academic might wear at the time. Although, I mean, this is a female version, so it does have a skirt, but it would be the
Wear
kind
a
of thing you'd
tweed
imagine.
every day. Fuck.
You're all, the rest of you, apart from Stravinsky, are in a group, aren't you? Roughly.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're close to the entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As you're examining and watching, a few people pass you. One of them, an oldish businessman wearing a slightly out of fashion hat, looks at you and smiles and goes, you are here for this, are you? I knew you young people would see the future and obviously want to grab it. They have brilliant thing. What are you doing standing outside? Come in. The pan I got last time is revolutionary. Nothing sticks to it. It's brilliant.
So we've got some anachronistic Teflon going on here. I respect that.
What the fuck?
Teflon's good.
The donuts are brilliant. You got to get there quickly though. The coffee, it always goes the first batch. The first batch is the best.
Why
Wait, did you just
why
come
do
here
we-
to eat?
Well, some people come to eat, some people come to socialize, talk business, and people come to buy, of course.
See.
You should come
man
in.
of-
What do people usually buy?
Oh, depends what's there. I mean, that's why I'm going to go in. It's always different. Always different.
What was there last week?
The pan! And other things. I wanted the pan. Was a bargain at $50. I'd have paid
Yeah.
double.
Fuck.
Does Carl Stanford always like pay the sell things directly, or does he have people hired that sell the things?
Who?
Carl Stanford?
Can't say I know the name.
That you
Manny
don't know the
Sutherland?
person who's presenting this?
Oh no, he's not the main speaker. Main speaker is B. Ramsdale Brown. Profits in your own backyard. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But anyway,
Is
I'm
anyone-
going to go get some coffee before it all goes.
Fun.
Maybe I
So-
can find a second pan.
Would a man with medical be able to tell whether or not that man had maybe some sort of withdrawal from whatever that was put in the coffee?
I have psychology.
You can
Well,
roll
I
me a
got-
psychology if you'd like.
I've got
Let's go.
medical.
To be honest, this sounds like a fantastic opportunity.
I can tell you. What are you rolling, Daniel? If anything,
I can roll a medicine check to see if he was a bit weird.
if you like.
Wow, 98. I managed to fail a 92.
Seems fine to
Like-
me. And also, the only thing you can think, Schmidt, that he is just excited to go in.
I still can't
Oh,
believe I
okay.
failed a skill at 92 with a
Yeah,
98.
98 happens.
Call of Cthulhu for you.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to go in, or do you want to keep lingering?
I
All right,
wanna
let's
get a
let's go
donut.
in. Let's just do it. Let's get our free
Staying
food.
out.
I want to go in and immediately find where the donuts are and grab one.
Ah, good plan. So there are lots of benches. You go in, there are lots of benches. There are 8 rows of them. There's a middle aisle, and there are 8 benches, like on each side. There's a stage right at the end, and on the stage is a podium. You can see that there's a curtain at the back, a red curtain at the very back, and you think there might be a door behind that because you can just see it from a slightly bit of an open part. You imagine that's where the speaker comes out from. At the moment, there are a lot of people. You think there are probably at least 120 people in here. They are all talking and debating and discussing, and there is a table with coffees and donuts. You do manage to grab a donut, Schmidt, because you went so quickly to grab one. There is a donut. You are, when you get to the thing, of course, you are asked to pay 50 cents.
Fuck.
Because they're not just giving you it, you have to pay. You do have the money, you can pay.
Truly, capitalism has infested all
Man's being
parts of this
railroaded
American
on the
hellscape.
pastry.
There are people coming round basically asking those that are there to pay. Presume, unless you decide to refuse, that you will be asked for 50 cents. On the other side are people selling items on tables, and they are making a very brisk trade of whatever they're selling. The things that they're putting out do not remain there very long and are gone.
What kind of thing?
You'd have to go over there and have a look. From a distance, it's actually hard to tell exactly what they're selling, because they are not typical items.
Well, should we have a look?
Certainly, you can go have a look.
Can we sneakily have a look?
I mean, you're in a crowd of 120 or so people, so...
Sweet.
I want to stay around where the donuts are and like try to listen if to people's conversation, because usually it loosens people up when they like eat
Okay.
and have coffee and so on, and see if I can hear anything interesting.
Good
I
plan.
have a list 72%.
I will let you know the result of that as you listen. For now, you are enjoying
Okay.
coffee and donuts.
Thank you.
The other two people go to the tables. The things on sale here, there aren't any pans. I will tell you the rough descriptions of things that are on sale here. You have a strange board, a flat, like vaguely flat cylindrical board with wheels on the bottom, 4 wheels. Those are on sale. There's
It's
also
one of those. What the fuck are they called? It's those things you put stuff on to wheel it around. So
it's not one of them. You've got
No.
to think far. If you want an out of character description, think far more radical.
First skateboard?
Mm.
Oh no.
There are also what are being described as cutting edge radios. These are radios that you have never seen before. They are portable.
Yeah, I mean, what we've got here is someone importing 1960s era technology to the 1920s. So we're dealing with anachronisms, boys.
They are powered by these revolutionary new pieces of technology called batteries, which, if you continue to come to the sessions, they're being told, you will be able to buy replacements when your battery runs out. You can get clear and crisp reception and wonderful audio quality, the likes of which you have never seen. These are being sold for $35 each.
That's a lot of
Wait,
dollars.
the radios or the batteries?
The radios. They come with batteries. The batteries are being sold for like $7 each. The replacement batteries. And these things are going.
Yeah, I mean, this is a curiously domestic use of what appears to be. Yeah, I mean, this is an odd one. Does anyone have any thoughts? Because otherwise, I mean, I would have thought that we'd need to talk to Stanford, wherever he is.
Speaking
Yeah, we'll
of...
probably have to.
Well,
have to speak to him, 'cause
funny you should
otherwise it's-
mention Stanford. You guys have spotted him. He's behind one of the tables, not too far from you. He's got some coffee cups that he's cleaning up, and he's about to put them on a table a little bit out of the way when he sees you two, and he smiles in pleasant greeting. "Ah, I never forget a face," he says as he moves over around the tables to come to you. And just offers his hand to shake. "It's been a while."
Who is he directing that towards?
He's directing it at Daniel.
Right, shake his hand. Good. Hello.
"Ah, what has been keeping you? I've not seen you for some time."
Oh, this and that. Life of a doctor keeps you very busy, as you'd
Oh.
imagine.
Oh yes, I fully understand that. Yes, you're always busy saving lives.
What about yourself?
Oh well, I've just had this to be doing, and various other things, altruistic and the like. But say our speaker is soon to begin. Why don't you and your friends come back to the back of the stage after he's finished and catch me up on events in Boston? I've been out of town for a little bit.
Sounds good. We'll meet you there.
Good, yeah, excellent. He smiles and dismisses himself. Schmidt. The
Jawohl.
main thing that you grab, apart from inane things about the box factory business and
more donuts.
how cheese how cheese sales have been on the rise and things, is that people are debating whether they should attend another one of the monthly meetings. The monthly meetings seem to be very different to the weekly ones.
Okay. Do I hear anything about when the monthly meetings take place?
They take place
Oh.
on a Friday, and there was one name that is mentioned in particular, and that is the name Nostalis Black.
Nostalis Black.
The name means nothing to you.
Okay.
Apparently, this person is always there. One of the people that is in charge of the monthly meetings. And another name, Brian Slim, also comes up. He's the guy that is also involved in it. That name also means nothing to you.
Okay. Did I hear anything about like where these meetings take place?
Oh, here.
Like,
They take place
right
here.
Okay.
They take place here.
And I guess one is coming up this Friday, I take it.
No, actually, it's not for another 2 weeks.
Oh. Okay. Inconvenient. Well, I move over to the group and I relay this message that, hey, like, I just heard about that there is a monthly meeting, which apparently is very different from this weird flea market they have going on here. And it's apparently coming up in 2 weeks on a Friday in this exact same place. And then I also relay the two names, which I have already forgotten, but of course my character remembers.
Nostalis Black and Brian Slim.
Brian Fatman.
Roll me Mythos rolls. Anybody that has it apart from you, Schmidt, I've already rolled for you.
Okay.
Alright.
And me, I'm outside.
Did
I
you?
got 9.
If you didn't hear it, that's not going to help you.
I got
54.
9.
Stravinsky.
Yeah.
Oh, Daniel, you know
Yeah.
this name.
Do I?
This
Which
is
name?
Lostalis Black. This is the human form of Nyarlathotep.
Sorry, what?
This is the
How would
human
I know
form
that?
of... You have encountered Nyarlathotep before.
In the underneath. thingy.
Nyarlathotep was in the form of the Great Reaper when he presented himself to the Black Knife Cult.
Yeah, that was
Yo,
the Gribbler in
yo.
the basement thing,
Yep.
wasn't it?
Nostalis Black is his human form. As you know, the only form which will not drive people mad.
That's pretty nuts.
It's the form that Nyarlathotep will typically take when he wants to deal with a mortal without driving them to the brink of insanity, which you know is not very often.
Maybe he wants to visit the flea market and buy a battery.
I mean, even an old one needs a non-sticky pan.
Are you
And a radio.
Are you staying to listen to the amazing lecture?
Well, we said we'd meet Thingy round the back afterwards. didn't
Yes,
we?
you did. You did.
While this is happening, Stravinsky, maybe have a look out back, see if you can overhear anything with the people
You're going to
loading the
look
boxes
round
and shit.
back, are you? Right.
Just a little sneaky. Just while this happens, so I don't say I
Okay.
did this in the
Um,
past.
Very
Later.
close to the back of this place is another building. There's a small house that is very close to the meeting hall that you're in. You'd almost swear that they were connected, but there's no walls connecting the two together.
Okay, there's not a loading area out back where people are
No.
putting stuff. Okay.
The
Nothing over
interesting
here.
thing you discover is that the entrance to this place is guarded.
What sort of men?
One very tall and burly-looking man
like obvious guards, or are they trying to look inconspicuous?
He is not trying to look inconspicuous at all. He is guarding that door.
Uniformed, any sort?
Hmm?
Any sort of uniform?
Nope, he's just wearing casual clothing, but you know he's guarding. It's
And what about the other dude? Same?
there's only one.
Oh,
He's got
Okay.
he's got bouncer face.
There's only one.
recognize him?
Nope.
Okay, well, Stravinsky joins the others.
Okay, you sit down just in time to hear the rip-roaring and interesting talk from B. Ramsdale Brown. And profits in your
Yay.
own backyard. Would you like a brief snippet of how riveting and thrilling this is, and how jaw-dropping the information he will provide you is? Or
I
would
want
you
the
like...
entire thing.
I can't give you the entire thing, it's not written down.
Oh, okay.
I can give you a brief summary of how thrilling it is.
I want to be thrilled.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thrill me.
are any of you actually business people?
No.
I mean, I have
bought-
quite
I've
high
bought
credit
things.
rating, so maybe I know something.
Okay, I'm going to tell you now that for pretty much everyone but Violet, this all goes over your heads as very dull and very, very boring. Violet recognizes this all as a entirely meaningless and fluffy speech full of buzzwords and platitudes and the kind of things that that people would say to very rich people to part them with their money.
Ah,
It's-
timeshares.
Yes, it's the sort of, well, all this stuff is great, but if you buy my book, you'll learn even more secrets. There
The
is
book is $500.
there is nothing of interest in what this person is saying. They are thoroughly dull.
Stravinsky would like to spend this time, now that everyone's seated, to maybe have a look around, first of all, at who's actually listening.
Everyone seems to be
Everyone.
listening except for you lot.
Even the people who arranged it out there.
Hmm?
The people that have arranged the whole thing.
Oh, the people that are actually
also listening to
the
him.
people that were working, they are counting their money. As a point, anyone, you guys were standing by the tables. The whole thing in total is about 2 hours.
Oh, God.
You guys can guess that in total they shifted maybe about 200 items, and they probably yielded about $10,000.
Okay, lads, who brought their gun?
Are we robbing a
Hmm.
stagecoach?
At the end of the extremely thrilling and riveting talk, he gets a standing ovation of applause from everyone but you guys, unless you're applauding as well.
Yeah.
We'll applaud, we'll applaud.
And he offers,
together.
what a surprise, he says, well, you can buy my book and you can learn even more, and people want to buy his book.
Should I buy his book?
If you really want to buy his book, yep, it's $1.
Yeah, I'll have a copy.
You'll buy his book. Excellent.
Yeah.
You now have
Sign it,
you now have
sign
a
it.
copy of B. Rams. He will sign it for you if you like.
Oh yeah, I get him to sign
A
it.
signed
Yeah.
copy of B. Ramsdale Brown's Profits in Your Own Backyard.
Sweet.
If you spend some time reading it, by the way, I will let you have a check on Fast Talk.
Oh,
not,
nice.
not
Sanity.
anything
I was gonna say,
else.
do I not lose sanity reading it?
No, fortunately not. It is not a Mythosian Fast Talk book. Contains
The
no
real
actual
horror.
business advice. You can, if you want to, try and find Carl Stamford now, if you like.
Yeah, we said we'd go out back and find him.
He is, he's not that hard to find when people start to eventually disperse after the coffee and donuts have disappeared and people are going away with their skateboards and their radios, and one person has what was I going to do? Yeah, one person has a basketball hoop.
What the fuck?
Oh, like the man with the glasses.
What the hell is this?
This is part of the great elder plan to turn every era into the 90s.
This is like one of the later Supernatural episodes.
Carl Stamford is very similarly dressed to how you remember him. The only
What, 20
difference,
minutes ago.
well, yeah, as in when you first met him. The only difference is he's
Oh,
wearing a hat and a coat, and curiously, he's not wearing his glasses right now.
Huh.
What a
Alright.
creature.
Quick
Blind.
observation determines that they are in his jacket pocket. And he
Ask him what he thinks the fastest animal alive is. I just want to check. That- Bad joke.
He's
Continue.
like, oh, there are more of you here. The three of you, I take it. Strabinsky is not going with you.
Strabinsky sort of looms in the general area.
Oh, there are.
He makes a point of not being with them, pretending to.
That works for about 5 seconds until he says, "Ah, you're here. Oh, and Strabinsky as well. Why don't you come along too?"
Okay, Strabinsky makes a point of sort of not looking directly.
Ah, well, no need to be
Well, not-
shy. We're all friends.
Not a point, but sort of staring slightly, not at the ground or in the ceiling or something.
No
like
need
that.
to be shy. We're all friends here after all.
Do I notice anything about his eyes?
They seem absolutely fine. He's put his glasses on at this point.
Okay.
Oh,
His eyes are fine. There's nothing unusual about them.
Okay.
It's like, well, there's lots, of course, you need to catch me up on.
wait, who is this guy again?
Carl
I have a
Stanford is the
recap.
guy that you met at the Hematic Order of the Silver Twilight's Lodge. He was the guy that was meeting and greeting.
Okay.
He was also the guy that when you went and snuck in, that appeared when in the version of the interior of the lodge where nobody was there.
Oh, very fine.
That was him. So it's like, well, we have plenty to discuss. He goes to the stage, which he urges you to follow, and opens the door and says, "Stairs are a little iffy. After you. I'll follow behind."
I feel like this may be disingenuous, friends.
Well, he put his glasses back on. I was suspecting some sort of
Laser
having them
beams.
off. No, having them off so he wouldn't be affected by a stone the size of fucking Bill Cosby in the next room or whatever the fuck other shit they got from the future. One of those beguiling stones. But, can I roll my bullshittery detection?
What skill are you trying to roll here?
ESP.
Yeah. Fuck, I don't have anything.
You
Someone
could roll
of the-
psychology if you like. You have 6% in it.
I
Yeah,
got
it's
more than
pretty-
that.
it's
I
pretty
could roll
good
it.
one.
Right, well, I will tell you that you glean nothing from psychology, Strabinsky. You seem like he genuinely wants to talk to you about stuff and just wants you to go first.
I got 58%. Can I roll?
Fuck.
Yeah, you can roll.
4.
You get the feeling he's really keen to get you downstairs. You're not sure why, but he's keen to get you down there.
What's the door look like? Does it
It's a normal wooden door.
Does it look like it's easily locked from this side?
There is a keyhole, but it looks like a normal wooden door. You just get the idea that he is keen to get you downstairs. You did say that you were going to go back and talk.
What's this building like? Is it like a big wooden thing, and the downstairs is
It's
what?
stone.
Okay, so a big ass basement, presumably.
You can't really tell from here. You'd have to go down and find out.
Fuck it.
Hmm?
Shall we?
Well, if we're gleaning that it looks a bit suspicious.
But how many of us though? We do have more than one human in our party, so we can.
We could. Yeah, alright. Well, fuck it.
Who volunteers to be the sacrifice?
Are we not all going?
I'll go.
Are any of you armed, I might add, at this point?
I'm always armed. I have a
Depends.
carry conceal.
I
Yeah,
am
no-
not armed because I'm not walking around with my Lee Enfield rifle.
Okay, so you're not armed, Strabinsky?
Well, it depends on how well I do with my conceal.
Well, you could have tried to bring a gun with you.
Gun and knife.
Is that a gun in your pocket, or
Roll
you just
a
happy to-
conceal roll and see.
Do me.
Alright, I will roll you a conceal roll.
Imagine not always dual wielding katanas.
Okay, yeah, you have concealed these on your person.
Oh, very fine. Otherwise I would've
Violet,
said you
you're
shall.
not armed, I take it.
No.
Okay.
I'm not.
She's armed with her sires.
Just out of curiosity, I want the
Four of
walking
them.
order because these are narrow stairs and only one person can. Like, one
Stravinsky
person
would
then
actually
behind.
like to maybe strike up conversation with the dude while the others go down. just
So
to keep him
Stravinsky is
from
going to be at the
being-
back, therefore.
Yeah, well, he's trying to talk to this dude while the others go down, so that if he's gonna do something fucking weird behind them, he's sort of
Okay.
holding him up.
What
so
about the
others
other
have a
three?
chance to do a thing.
How's the walking order?
I'll go after Clegg, I guess.
After Clyker, was that?
Yeah.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Does anyone have like? Does anyone? Do we need a pistol in hand?
No,
Oh,
I'm
no?
just asking if anyone is armed. I'm not saying.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
you decide to
okay.
brandish a gun, things
No.
things might go differently.
No.
Okay, so you start going down the stairs. These are stone stairs. They are very even. They're very unlike the stairs that you went down to go into that huge basement area under the lodge. These are like straight stairs with one turn. There's one right angle turn to the right.
Okay.
So he's
Is he just fine with conversing a bit with Stravinsky while?
What
the
are you
others go
talking
down?
about?
I'm seeing if talking about last time in the lodge, sort of like, if he remembers that thing where Stravinsky showed up and there was no one there and then there was people there.
Does not know what you're talking about. He's like, no, I'm afraid I don't recall that. I'm never there usually when there's nobody else there.
We rolling with my psychology, in that I won't understand if he's genuine or not.
Ooh, well done. You rolled a 4.
Dun, 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 dun.
This guy is 100% brainwashed.
He is
sure.
lying.
Okay, so
He
he knows he's
certainly remembers this, but he's doing what would otherwise have been a fantastic job of hiding it. But you notice as he is about to answer, there is a slightly longer pause than there would normally be in a natural response, as if he is thinking about it. So he
lying.
is.
So he's thinking about it. Something's not making him say something else.
No, he's definitely thinking about it. You know he is lying.
Okay, so he's definitely not brain binned. Okay.
So you turn
Is that
around the
check?
corner.
I don't know if it is.
Hmm?
Is that a check?
I've written down as a check.
Oh, thank you. I do know that.
So you go down the stairs a bit. These are illuminated with electric lights. You go around the corner, and you go a little further down, and the stairs end and open out into a wider corridor. Just around the corner, like there's a little. You go to the end of this corridor. There's a little corner, and it widens out at that point.
Okay. Do I notice anything out of the ordinary?
Do you sort of see any like floor traps that might have a spike suddenly swing into
I'll
your
tell
face?
you what, Violet
Beams of light. and
Violet
old British
notices
explorers.
something out of the ordinary. As you
What?
pass the end of the stairs, like to get to the bottom stairs and pass, Violet, you notice that to your right in the wall is a large, like the wall's broken by a large slab of metal.
Implying that.
That is some kind of door. Some kind of thick door. We are talking like 2
Vault
to
door?
3 inches of metal door.
Would it stop a bear?
This is like a door that would slide to shut.
Is this like a vault door? Or like a
Not-
safe door from a bank?
Well, no, you can't see the. You can only see the narrow side of the door. But you think this would slide to cover the way you came in. It hasn't done so, and Carl has followed you past it. He's not paid it any attention.
Okay, so we followed down, I guess.
So
Maybe it's one of those doors that in Doom would make that particular Doom noise.
So you're going around. There's a corner. You've basically stopped just before this corner. At
Can
this
I?
point.
Sorry, I keep mechanical repair on the door to get a sense of what sort of mechanism closes it.
You don't know.
So there's no signs of any manual things. So
No,
it's remote.
nothing. So you're at the
Okay.
corner. Basically, you've got to the end of this small corridor, like a bit after the stairs. There's a turning. You haven't gone around the corner yet. All the while, Carl's just been talking to Stravinsky. The air in here is... It's very fresh. and the walls are just of stone.
But
You
fresh
have a
as in
sense
you
of-
can feel air moving, or fresh as in it
Fresh as
just
you can
smells-
feel air moving.
Okay.
Sort of, what's it called, spatially, would this be under the building Stravinsky saw before? Does he have any sense of that? Out back.
You don't have any sense of that.
Can
God
I
damn it.
architect this?
You don't have the information to make that assumption.
Well, I mean,
Unless
there's a
Stravinsky
lot
has
of-
told you about this other building.
no, Stravinsky has made a point of not talking to
In
them.
that case, you can't make an architect roll because you don't have a way to assume. All you know is that it's probably not directly under the building,
Okay.
Schmidt. You don't know in what relation.
Hmm.
So you're by
This-
this corner. It's like, oh, it's just a little further. It's just through a door, and then there's a small seating area. We can sit down, and you can get me acquainted.
Mm,
After you.
All right. I will go in.
You turn around the corner. In a small area to the left, because it's not just a corridor towards this open area, there is no door. There is an area to the left. There is a table, and 2 chairs that are unoccupied, and there are 2 guards who are aiming guns at you. These guns are unlike any weapons that you have seen.
oh no.
They fire at you.
You see, these guys have got AK-47s. I knew it.
I dodge backwards.
You don't have the chance to dodge because you were not expecting this.
I guess.
You die.
I dodge forward.
They don't just fire once, I might add. They fire a lot in this instant.
I
Well-
weave between the bullets with ninja-like agility and take them both out with one single blow.
You
Well,
split
I think
the
Clyke has
bullet
been shot so
mid-air.
many times from being in the war that he's built up a resistance to bullets, so I think he should be alright.
But they're not shooting bullets, though. They're probably shooting like
They are shooting bullets.
they're shooting bullets or something.
They fire
Boulet.
6 shots at you in quick succession. Basically a rapid da-da-da, da-da-da. They basically burst fire you with
Wow.
their rifles. One of the shots hits you.
Well, that's okay.
That's abysmal aim.
It's just one hit. I mean, I can take that. I took worse.
I'm glad that I think they decided to take the 1960s weapons
You
away.
take 12 points of damage. And you fall unconscious as this bullet hits you straight in the chest.
I am down to 2 HP, men. This was a nice session we had there.
We are now entering into initiative.
Du-du-du-du-du-du-du.
So long as you've incapacitated Clyker as quick as possible, this has been a success.
Yeah, that basically. Welcome to Lehman.
Well, to be fair, I have to be completely honest. In every single adventure that Martin Schmidt had so far, he has not gotten a single scratch, while all of you
Okay,
guys got massively
Martin,
damaged.
you are unconscious. The rest of you, what you have basically seen is you have seen Martin go around the corner, you have heard 6 shots in very quick succession, and Schmidt, without making a single sound, has been hit in the chest with a bullet and has fallen to the ground.
Flops on
He's
the ground.
bleeding. So, Martin doesn't get his turn because he's unconscious. It's Daniel.
Hmm.
Should I medicine this man?
Well, can I use the wall as cover?
Has the door closed behind us?
Yeah.
You haven't heard the door closing behind you.
Can I use the wall as cover
But
from
I'm-
where the bullet's coming from?
I'm at the back, so presumably I'll be able to see if the door is closed, correct?
Yeah, you're near the back. You'd be able to see if the door's
I
closed.
talk in Daniel's
What are you
mind.
trying
and
to
I say,
do, Daniel?
Pull me back.
Can I use the wall as cover?
What are you trying to use the wall's cover for?
Well, from where the bullet's coming from?
Yeah, the people haven't moved from
Can I
round the corner.
blind fire with my pistol?
You could certainly blind fire. It's going to be very difficult considering you're not very difficult to hit them. You could certainly just aim your gun round and fire.
Well, if they just fired, it's my go. So yeah, let's go gunslinger.
Okay,
So I wasn't shot anybody.
how many shots are you firing off?
Man activates Deadeye.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you just like firing as many times as you can pull the trigger?
Yeah, as many times as I can get away with,
I'm gonna-
while keeping my body, most of my body, like protected if I can.
Right, I'm gonna roll how many shots you fire. Obviously, you're doing that blind, and I'm just gonna roll. You roll me 5 Roll me 5 rolls and tell me what you get for them.
5 rolls. What,
5
do
rolls. You're
100s?
just firing off 5 times and very quick. So you're just basically going over and just going do 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 as many
5
times.
D100s. Okay, I'll click. So, right, that's a 5, a 91,
Okay.
a 1,
Ooh.
a
What?
33,
Okay.
and a 23.
Okay. Right. Well, what's going to happen at first is I'm going to roll to see if you improve your handgun skill,
Oh yeah, yeah.
because you have just rolled a 1.
Look,
You
Kiko,
rolled a
come on.
one,
This is,
your
this is
handgun
not a
improves.
decadent American
You rolled
stream.
a
It's
90,
his
your
pistol
handgun-
skill. Come on.
What is your pistol skill right now? That's 70. Ooh, well done. You did gain an improvement. It's gone up by 5% to 80%.
Oh my god, fucking gun.
Basically, what has happened is that you have fired blindly around the corner,
Yeah.
and you've actually managed to hit both of them once. You just go around the corner, just go, and you've actually hit 2 of them.
It was the bullet he wrote the 1 for. It like hit the one guy, then like ricocheted and hit the other one.
I'm willing to bet that they're wearing body armor,
And
though.
because you have fired from an extremely close distance, you get far more damage than you normally would get. Basically, you run round the corner and go. The second shot you hear, "Ah!" And then the third shot you hear an even louder scream and just thud, thud.
Remember, the louder they scream, the more damage you did.
Nice.
You hear 2 thuds. You don't know what's happened, but you hear 2 thuds.
Well, 2 thuds is good. 2 thuds is not bullet shots.
Stravinsky,
Yes.
you are at the back.
Uh,
you
Well,
have seen.
Gabriel Byrne is behind me, right?
Have a look.
Well, is he?
No,
Or he's just completely gone
he
without
is
me noticing?
completely gone.
Gabriel Knight has disappeared.
Okay,
Voodoo.
so I can't grab him. Well, first aiding Clyker, if I can get to him in time.
You can go.
No, drag him.
You can
drag
go
him out
over
of their
and
line of
first
fire.
aid him
would
by
be
all
the-
means.
Anyone but the Russian!
I do it. Now you want the Russian doing it, honestly.
Not the world-class doctor who rather gunslings instead of
Nope,
saving my
Not
life.
in this case.
Yes, Stravinsky has a rather ridiculous first aid skill, I might add.